Good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. First, the headlines. With a total investment value exceeding 32 million Omani Riyals, usufruct agreements are signed to establish food security projects. The longest overwater zip line in the world is launched in Musandam Governorate. And parties of the Sudanese conflict agree to extend the ceasefire for an additional 72 hours, and evacuations of foreign nationals continue. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. The Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning signed 6 usufruct agreements for land to establish agricultural projects in 4 governorates with a total value of more than 32 million Omani Riyals. Here is a report.
To contribute to supporting food security, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning signed 6 usufruct contracts for lands to establish agriculture projects in the governorates of North and South Al-Batina, Al-Baraymi and Al-Dakhiliya, on a total area of more than 3 million square meters, with a total value of more than 32 million Omani Riyals.
We signed several projects today in food security. We are keen to make sure that this program continue. This year we'll have several batches of several projects. We focus mainly in 2023 in certain projects related to crops that we think we need to achieve more than 50 to 75% in terms of food security, and also in terms of marketing. Also, we're trying to help the companies in funding, giving them a grace period, and also trying to have focus farms and focus crops that we need in the coming years.
These contracts aim to provide lands under the usufruct system to support the economy and investment and raise efficiency for sustainable land use, and to meet the needs of the Sultanate of Oman for food security projects using modern and innovative scientific methods, and in line with the national strategy for the development of governorates.
It will be very important for the governorate, especially North Batna, because a lot of projects that will be there. This project it will be more force the economy to be very active in the next few years, especially in the vegetables and the fruits, and also in the meats. There is one of the biggest project for the sheep and goats and all the imports export in this field.
The signing of the agreements comes within the framework of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Planning's initiatives to support the local agriculture sector in cooperation, partnership and integration with the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources to diversify sources of food security within the objectives of Oman's 2040 vision.
To create an adventurous experience that is breathtaking and memorable, Oman Adventure Center was launched with an achievement that made it through to the Guinness World Records. More details in the following report.
Thrill and excitement are in demand by many tourists and locals alike. Oman Adventure Center does come to fulfill desires of adrenaline seekers worldwide. This center was inaugurated under the auspices of His Excellency Sayyid Ibrahim bin Saeed Al Busaidi, Governor of Musandam, to assign a Guinness World Record of the longest zip line worldwide over water.
We have 58,000 records on our database, and seeing records like this brings new tourism to new regions, and for us it's so proud to be part of these kind of achievements.
The Zipline project is the first activity and key component of Oman Adventure Center. This project has a dual zipline spanning over 1,800 meters with a spectacular view of Jabal Fit and Khor Qada within the wilaya of Khasab.
Zipline length is 1,800 meters, 1.8 kilometers. It's about 220 above sea level. And also the speed it's around 60 to 80 mph. Yeah.
As the first time for me in my life trying a zip line, I'm so happy with a new move or new step in Oman to have a zip line like this, and in the same time so happy that our zip line in Oman, one of the longest zip line in the world on above the sea level. This move can help on the words of canyoning and adventures in Oman, since it's in doing good in the market of Oman, the adventures tourism.
Oman Adventures Centre offers a range of adventure and entertainment activities in addition to the zip line, including paddle courts for fans of this popular sport. The centre also plans to introduce several marine and mountain adventure activities to enhance the experience for visitors.
The official launch of the zipline, distant at 1.8 kilometers, happened here within Musandam Governorate, only to state a clear and important message that the adventure tourism here in the Sultanate of Oman is taking it to the next level. It achieved a world record of 800 meters above sea level in a Guinness record. For Oman TV, Ahmed bin Hilal al-Busaidi, Khasab, Musandam Governorate.
His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Hamad al-Busaidi, Foreign Minister, made a phone call with His Excellency Dr. Faisal al-Miqdad, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Expatriates of the Syrian Arab Republic. During the call, the two sides reviewed the bilateral relations between the two countries and ways of strengthening them, and discussed several regional and international issues and developments. The Sudanese army confirmed in a statement that it had to agree to extend the ceasefire for another 72 hours as of April 28 to allow civilians to obtain essential medical aid, food and basic supplies. Meanwhile, evacuations of state nationals and diplomats from Sudan continue, and several locations in Khartoum witnessed clashes that left many dead and injured despite signs of extending the ceasefire. The Kremlin said it welcomed anything that could bring the end of the Ukraine conflict closer when asked about a phone call a day earlier between Chinese President Xi Jinping and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. But it said it still needed to achieve the aims of its special military operation in Ukraine. Yesterday, the Chinese and Ukrainian leaders spoke for the first time since Russia sent its troops into Ukraine in February last year, fulfilling a long-standing goal of Kiev, which had publicly sought such talks for months. Meanwhile, the Russian Foreign Ministry spokesman said that the Black Sea grain deal could only be saved by fully implementing it, indicating that parts of the deal meant to allow it to export its own agricultural goods are not being honored. China called on all parties concerned with the Korean Peninsula to stop deliberately stirring up tensions. China's Foreign Ministry spokesman Mao Ning said all parties should face the core issue of the Korean Peninsula and play an effective role in coming up with a peaceful settlement for the issue. She added that the theater or threats of the US president and his South Korean counterpart towards North Korea shows an insistence on creating tension and undermine the interests of other countries. Still to come in our news bulletin. Details of the Forum of Persons with Disabilities are revealed in a press conference in Muscat Governorate. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. The Civil Aviation Authority issued an alert of heavy thunder showers expected in several governorates. The authority stated that the heavy thunder showers, which are likely to fall in the noon and evening periods, will be concentrated in the governorates of South and North Sharqiyya and parts of Muscat, Al-Wusta and Dhafar. They are also likely to extend to include parts of Al-Dakhiliya, South and North Al-Batina and Al-Dhahira. They are expected to range from 20 to 70 millimeters. The Civil Aviation Authority called on everyone to take caution during this weather condition, not to cross wadis and to avoid low places and the sea. A number of wilayas in the Sultanate of Oman witnessed varied intensity rainfalls which caused some wadis and their tributaries to overflow. Here are some scenes of Wadi Mahram in the wilaya of Samail. The wilayas of South Al-Sharqiyya Governorate also experienced varied intensity rainfalls, and here are some scenes from Al-Manqal Wadi. Similarly, the wilaya of Al-Khabura witnessed varied intensity rainfalls that led wadis and tributaries to overflow. The coming video shows some scenes of Wadi Al-Amirat in the wilaya of Al-Khabura. A press conference was held today to reveal the details of the Forum of Persons with Disabilities. More details in the following report.
The Ministry of Social Development held a press conference to announce the details of the first of its kind Forum of Persons with Disabilities, which will be held from the 1st to the 3rd of May at the Oman Convention and Exhibition Center.
We are thrilled to launch the first forum for people with disabilities, which will take place from 1st to 3rd of May 2023 at Oman Convention Center, under the patronage of Ministry of Social Development, with full support of Oman Energy Association and HDCD Center as strategic partners. The forum will provide job opportunities for job seekers with disabilities, and will also showcase latest technologies that will support people with disabilities for greater inclusion in the society.
The forum will focus on the integration and empowerment of persons with disabilities by gathering a community of more than 65 public and private institutions and local and international agencies.
Conducting these kind of forums and these kind of events that are dedicated for persons with disabilities is a good indication, a clear indication that the government and the Ministry of Social Development takes good care and takes a lot of importance, gives a lot of importance to the persons with disabilities. So this is the first of its kind, a forum, the first of its kind, and we're very happy and very much looking forward to attending the event.
The event will feature a spectrum of activities over 3 days from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., among which there will be an exhibition showcasing services, programs and employment opportunities for persons with disabilities, in addition to more than 50 other accompanying events. Empowering persons with disabilities will enable them to unleash their potential and participate in the development of society. صالح بخلفان الرحبي, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main headlines once again. With a total investment value exceeding 32 million Omani Riyals, usufruct agreements are signed to establish food security projects.